So next we have our sister Rahma Rashid, who's from Muslimahs Against Abuse Center. And again, a model that I've seen, this is actually the first time we've met in person, but a model that I saw on the internet and in my research, and again, a model that I don't think we've seen enough of nationally. We have a lot of big nonprofits supporting DV-based work, right? But this is, I think, is different because of the depth in which you're going with the sisters and the work that you're doing. So mashallah, I'd love to hear more about your work.
Assalamu alaikum. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me here. It's truly an honor to be able to talk about the work that means so much to me. And in talking about what inspired me, I think my own personal journey as a domestic violence survivor really was the fears behind our mission at Muslimahs Against Abuse Center. I went through so much for so long and really didn't have places to go to where I felt a sense of community, where I felt like this was someone who understood my culture, who understood my religion, and is able to help me. I would go to places where they would either tell me, we're gonna take your kids away because you're going through the situation, who would judge me because of what I was going through, who would label me as really horrible names just because I wanted help in getting out of a really horrible situation and having 4 young children who were all under 5 at the time. And so alhamdulillah, going through that really showed me the lack of services that there are for Muslim women when they're trying to overcome this hardship. And oftentimes I really didn't find any safe space at all. And I felt like, in a sense of, if I'm going through this, I'm sure there's so many other people going through it. And alhamdulillah that I had a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala where I knew that my guidance and my help and my struggle will all be answered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so long as I continue to make dua that He gets me out of this horrible situation. And so after going through that and really crushing things that were barriers for me, alhamdulillah, I went on to graduate college. I went on to get my master's degree. I went on to get a really great education. I went on to do things that people told me I would never be able to do. And that was all by the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I was also able to get a job where I could support my children and I could help them and I could show them and guide them along this journey that we're all going through. And so I think for me it was a time where I sat back and wondered, like, alhamdulillah that you've gotten out of this situation and you're doing so well, but think about the sisters who don't have a community, who don't have family, who don't have support. I had, alhamdulillah, at the time, although I was living so far away from my family, because we know that oftentimes abusers will get you away and isolate you from your friends and your family, I moved to a place that I did have family around me, so I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I was able to do as far as education, work, if it wasn't for my family. And so alhamdulillah for that, that was really a huge inspiration behind this. But I think my children was really huge. They would always encourage me to like keep going, and if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have ever even continued to go to school. They would always, like, because of my teachings and what I would always teach them, they would be like, hey, do this, do that, pray, make dua, constantly, like not even putting the person who caused me that pain in a bad light to them. I would always just say, make dua that Allah like changes his condition and changes the person that he is. And so I think for me, it was more so just connecting to Allah, and then through that I realized that I needed to turn my pain into purpose. I could sit there and like dwell on my pain and continue to say, why did this happen to me? I'm a good person, I'm a good Muslim, why is this happening to me? But I also realized that I needed to turn that pain into a purpose of helping so many other people. And alhamdulillah, through that, I've been able to start and found this organization that is now helping so many people, that has spent over thousands and thousands of dollars in helping people who are homeless and sheltering young children and helping the youth. We do so many different programs, and I think what makes it so unique is that the programs isn't what I feel like I need. It's more so what our community were able to let us know, because I can create these programs, but what if it's only gonna help me out? I need to think about their voices, and so we input their voices in every single program we're able to do. We did our domestic violence MAAC Safe Space program that serves and helps finding our sisters and our single moms who need homes, who are homeless, who are struggling, whether it's financial assistance, whatever the case may be. We're able to support them through that healing journey while also reminding them of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because I can help you with all of these things, but we also have to make sure that we're making dua that Allah is the one who can change our condition. And then we do our honor rolls program, which is completely different from our domestic violence program that serves all women. We come together bi-weekly on Sundays and we enjoy a brunch, and it's just a safe space for us to come together. And I think through these brunches and educating about our programs and what we have going on, I think oftentimes, I know conversations about my program, my organization may make people feel uncomfortable because they're like, whoa, you're talking about things that are oftentimes not discussed within our community. But I also want us to understand that through this organization, we have also helped so many people in their marriages understand and look at their life and say, wow, what I'm complaining about is nothing compared to what this sister is going through. And so we've had husbands who've reached out to us and said, you know what, thank you for having these bi-weekly brunches. My wife is coming back home and she's a happier person. She's doing things in like a joyful way because she's been able to connect with other women and just having that safe space to just have a great time, talk to one another, learn about things that are happening. And we try to get all the inequities that are going on within our community. And then we have our teen awareness program, which is something that's very dear to me because it starts from the bottom. Prevention starts from a young age. And we're putting in, implementing these programs so that we're better equipping our youth with tools so that they can overcome any traumas prior to becoming an adult and taking that into their adulthood. And so, alhamdulillah, we've been able to do that. We do a substance prevention program right now where we're helping our youth. And we actually, within the first, I think, 3 days of us just putting it out there, we reached our number of, we actually have a waiting list right now. And so that the need is out there. We just need our community and people who are willing to come out and talk about these things with our youth. Come out. We don't only, our teen awareness is open to young boys and young girls, and we have an overwhelming number of people who are going through these things who don't know how to talk to their parents, and so they come to us and they're able to communicate and feel that they're not going to be judged and they're going to be helped, because if we start at a young age, we won't have to be seeing adults who are trying to go through their childhood traumas in their adulthood. And so, alhamdulillah, I think part of my inspiration is definitely what I went through, but also seeing the needs within my community and being able to be the change that I desperately needed, but a change that we all need within our community to be better for ourselves and our family.
Yeah, thank you. There's so much powerful work.